Hi guys, I'm Amaya.
And I'm Caster.
Today we'll be talking about art and music as abolitionism and spreading joy to get around the word.
Hey, Maya, do you know that slaves were still able to communicate with each other despite being miles away?
I'm not sure. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. Over the course of slavery, many slaves were able to find creative solutions to communicate, and the most prominent way was music, because the slave owners only allowed them to sing while they worked, and they tricked them to thinking that they were converting to Christianity, when in fact they were either singing in secret codes about where the Underground Railroad was, or they were able to protest slavery.
Oh, that's really cool. I can imagine that that had really big impacts on the community as a whole. As like, music allows people to escape and be free, while it also gives them something to enjoy, especially when they're going through something as horrific as that, something to give them a sense of happiness in those harder times. And you said it was able to protest things, or is that
Yeah, it was like sort of spreading word about like what's happening to them or like just protesting the outright racism. So,
wow, it's also awesome that they were able to take music to be able to protest unfair laws and like bring awareness to the injustice.
yeah, and that really did change, allowed them to be free. So,
Yeah, what do you think it takes to get free?
I think it takes like a lot of coordination and trust between people because
Mhm.
you really like in this situation you got to like all trust each other and work together in order to get free because you're already like I want to say like underpowered compared to like who you're fighting. So without like trust or anything like that, it's you're not gonna even have a chance.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it would also take like a desire and a belief, these people had a strong desire and they shared it through art and music. And because they believed everything else was able to happen because they had that will for them to go change the minds of those who are uneducated to the unjust ways of their society. And they did that through music and art, which I honestly think is beautiful and super powerful.
Yeah, and it was. And that tied into like one of the songs I looked into. And it's called Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, which is actually Harriet Tubman's favorite song. It was played at her funeral. So I'm gonna play a little bit right now.
Awesome.
Swing low, sweet chariot, come for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. All right, and that was Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. And Swing Low, Sweet Chariot is sort of like a code itself because it's like a call to action for abolitionists to swing low to the southern states and then bring the slaves up on like a chariot or like the Underground Railroad and bring them home to the north.
So
Or like,
beautiful. Also, it's cool to see how they knew that where they were isn't where they belonged, hence why they said to bring them home, to bring them to where they belonged. It's beautiful, and it's kind of heartbreaking at the same time that they really had to go through that, but it's also an amazing thing that they were able to find a sense of happiness or communication through their songs.
like a good come from bad, you know? Like, obviously, it's a horrible thing, but like the music's beautiful. So at least it's something good came out of that, you know?
Something good came out of all of the horrid stuff that they had to go through. I agree. I actually have a song, and it is from the Hutchinson family. And for those of you who do not know, and I'm not sure if you know, Caster, but the Hutchinson family became famous by attaching themselves to the American Anti-Slavery Society. They were like a church-based group that fought slavery in the courts, and they had traveled the country singing at society meetings, and they also sold sheets for music in their songs, which really did change the way that Americans expressed themselves and were able to believe in, different things from what they were being told to believe and think, like everyone thought slavery was okay. And it's just so awesome how music had also taken a place in pushing that idea out, So I'm going to play this song for a little bit. Oh, the car emancipation rides majestic through our nation, bearing on its train the story, liberty, our nation's glory. Rolling along, rolling along, rolling along through the nation, freedom's car, emancipation. So that's a song. Some of the lyrics that I found really powerful in that was Roll It Along, because it was kind of like saying bring it to us, make it happen, you know. And also another a few lyrics further in the song that I did not show for the sake of time was merchants, editors, physicians, lawyers, priests, and politicians, get out of the way, every station, clear the track of emancipation, which is basically saying like everyone who's in the way and who's for slavery, who's stopping these people from finding their true humanity in life, get out the way, you know, let these people be free, let them and experience happiness, you know. I think it's beautiful. What do you think about that song?
Yeah, I think it's very beautiful, and it's also like very catchy. You're gonna be like humming this in like your head or just out loud, but you also have to like think about the words rather than just like the tune, right?
Hmm.
Words are like they're really powerful, and they probably can change the opinion of people.
Agreed, 100% agreed. And so before we close it off, I just want to say that, you know, this music and all the poems and arts and everything else that had played into this was so great, and it's really it's clear how much of a change it did, for the fact being that the song Castor had showed us was Harriet Tubman's favorite song, and you said it was played at her funeral, is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
It's just it's really cool to see how something as basic as music, since you know it's so accessible right now, had changed something so huge back in history.
Yeah, and really did impact a lot of people's lives. It probably let a lot of them be free too, right?
Yeah, so with that being said, we're gonna close it off. Bye guys.
Bye.